Change to speaker view, and I think we're all set. Jeffrey or Cassandra, take it away.
Hey, hey, hey. How's everybody today? Um, let's see. I'm sorry. I just want to see I've got myself on gallery speaker, but I can't see myself. John, baby.
We can see you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I see myself, but it should be on speaker now. It's not jumping me up there. Okay, never mind. No problem.
You're on speaker for the on mine for the recording. You can. I can't change your view. You can change your
Oh,
own.
okay. Okay. Yeah, yeah. Okay, sorry about that. Anyway, John Bennett, what a great crowd today. You know, John sent me a poem like about the poison meat on the desert 1,000 years ago. Legends 1, 2, and 3 here today. Got such a great lineup. We're sorry that Mark can't be with us. Ah, Mark can't be here today. Oh, well, I'm going to talk about him. Rufus, come on, what? You heard me, you know, I love Mark. Look, I wrote this haiku for Mark. My poems are slow motion car wrecks. Embarrassingly reckless. Oh, that was okay. That wasn't bad. You want to hear some more? No, I think we should move on now. Okay, well, you want me to read your poem for you? Uh, uh, why don't you just, hold my hand? Okay, I'll be glad to. Okay, here we go. Here we go now. This is called Sending Now. And now is it's in quotes. Oh, thank you, Rufus. Go over here and drink my Manhattan, would you? Sending now. Ignorance is king when the king is an ignoramus. The Yahoo censors are blind to neologisms. I sing the body ekphrastic, claims the chatterbot. Thus, our efforts become echoes of the future. My bones will be flutes filled with chain fire. Dear Hillary, I miss you. Wakened by gray light, the day lumbers into a wooden parade, unafraid of the axe or saw or miracles that can't be unseen. My beak isn't embarrassed to slaughter language, seeking survivors in a diminished dimension. Gantries stand sentry over the Delaware River, unabashed by their obsolescence. Rummaging through heaven's scrap heap, you keep me from being a mess. Fireworks in the love oven. And I realized I read that last time, and I gave a big shout out to Cassandra, the ekphrastic queen.
I
And of
know,
course,
I love that line. It's
thank
awesome.
you. And that's a reference, of course, to Whitman's I Sing the Body
Basically electric.
Electric, right? I was going to say elastic. So, speaking of Cassandra, our
I have a
champion.
you don't have to read my bio. I think we transgress when Mark's away and we just jump in.
Okay,
So I'm
Cassandra, the ekphrastic queen. All right, Cassandra.
yes, as Jeff said, I'm writing a book for Princeton on ekphrastic poetry, so you can always send some ekphrastic poetry my way. I thought I'd read a really short one from Mark. And it's very, very short, but I really, really enjoy it. And it's called Sibylline from one of his early books, and it's called Still in the Knot of Perspective. A voiceover says, all roads are traveled. Vibration determines everything. Oh, if only for a quick, tight Hollywood ending. And that's a super short one for Mark because he can't be here today. And I'm going to read just the first poem in a sequence of poems I just had published in Peripheries, which is called Wide Silence Hiroshima, a prose poetry sequence. Of course, it's prose poetry. Sadako Kurihara. She was 4 kilometers north of the epicenter. She writes about it, but censorship destroys her lines with thick black boxes and overscoring. Her notebooks from high school are filled with haiku. Now new poems rupture traditional forms. The blank page is ground zero. She sees beyond its edges and past Hiroshima. Her testimony burns. She is midwife at the birth of the atomic bomb. Her pen is heavy. In free verse, she reminds us we are all sitting on black eggs. Back to you, Jeff.
Oh gosh, that was beautiful. That's such a commitment you have to that whole thing, the black eggs, right? Oh my gosh. All right. So we're going to begin our reading today with Joanna Sit, who, as I mentioned earlier, was just in the Best American Poetry blog, and she had a poem about longing. I hope she's going to read it. And it was in Live Mag first, and that's how Terrence saw it. Terrence Winch, hats off, shout out to Terrence. And I went to college with Joanna at Brooklyn College. And but let me just read her bio. She was born in China, grew up in New York City, where she lives with her family. She studied poetry with Allen Ginsberg and Susan Fromberg Schaefer at Brooklyn College, and now teaches creative writing at Medgar Evers College, City University of New York. She's the author of My Last Century, In Thailand with the Apostles, and most recently, Track Works. Her poem, Timescape, The Age of Oz, was nominated for the Pushcart in 2016, and she's now working on an ethnographic narrative called The Reincarnation of Red, and another book of poems called Fantastic Voyage. Please welcome Joanna Sit. Joanna.
Hi, everyone. I didn't know whether I was supposed to unmute myself or that I get muted by forces higher than myself. Anyways, hi, everyone. Thank you for coming, and thank you, Jeff, for having me. I really appreciate it. I haven't read in a while, and I generally don't read on Zoom, but for you, Jeff, I will do anything. So I'm going to just start off with the poem called Map of Matter. It's just like kind of a meditation on the past, and particularly my past and my influences and all of that, and a little fictional thing inside there. It's called Map of Matter. I could talk about the past like everyone else, about surfing the winds of childhood to get here and the things I remember, as if the limbs of earth can be owned by reminiscence. But that's someone else. I don't have a story to go back to or a scenario to play out. Everything I'm from was made up by the Shaw brothers and their starlets under dramatic lighting, cat eyes, tinted lips, mansions, cocktails. Those were not the days, and I didn't live through them as much as I slewed across the surface of their rotten skin, because the decayed hand of the past reaches for everyone, not one finger of truth. Don't lie, my memory speaks in sleep. But be creative and quick about it. Soak in the salt of the world's illusion. Diliquesce, be true. I can reassemble the dismembered limbs of the past by ingesting them, then making a new body of history and pining for it like a farmer weeping for her country lost to flood and fire. I have total recall of the Belle Epoque, the age of innocence, the age of anxiety, the turn of the century, the ways of the swans. By demarcating the borders, reconfiguring the atoms of my birth, I'm born again and again. In the movies, in the libraries, I watched and read and watched, until I was entombed with recollection, molecules degrading in travel, in moves from east to west, village to city, town to town. The spaces between I lit with candlelight of nostalgia to illuminate the path of sequined shifts, beaded gowns, satin shoes. I wore them over my tattered t-shirt, dirty feet. Once I moved on that flat space of blank topography, a village for squatters, for the homeless, not worth visiting or revisiting. In the dark, in my telling, it transforms, becomes the enchanted forest, apples, snakes, gardenias, a place I find myself time and time, again, then again, to in my telling, tell and retell, I redraw the geography of slanted truth and an ending happy enough to last forever and ever after that. So that's one. The next one I had a bunch of summer poems, and I guess because summer is coming late this year, so I've been thinking a lot about summer. And so this one is actually about summer in New York City, called Apparition. I know someday this heat will be the end of us all. But for now, New York is shimmering and beautiful because all the girls are so anti-Victorian and antediluvian at the same time in the world, in the summer air, in Prospect Park, in the Bronx Zoo, in the Lower East Side. They are such miracles, so young. Already they're at home in the heat wave. They walk under shades of store awnings or foliage to shield their exquisite skin from the burning sun. Likewise, the boys, clueless though they are valiant in their steps, those with skateboards skate after their objects of desire. Let's not be bitter or indignant because we're old. Let's be grateful for that one time staying up all night in the Palisades, waiting for sunrise and leaning on one another. Later, fall into bed, makeup smeared, and we scared the lady landlord, who was superstitious and shouted that we were ghosts, and if we weren't dead, we should be living the way we did, that we should haunt and curse the good world that we didn't deserve to be in. But we were not ghosts, but full of shine and enchantment. We were just gorgeous and incarnadine with immortality, like the women who appeared as if by magic crossing 14th Street in a white tank top, shoulders glistening from sweat and sparkle, waving, then laughing at something someone said to her from a passing van, and she adjusts her straps with her left hand, blows a kiss to no one in particular, and disappears around the verdant corner of Union Square Park. So that's, I think that Jeff wanted me to read the ghazal that that was published in Lit Mag, but unfortunately I didn't have a printout, and so what I'm going to do is read another ghazal because the summer after my father died, I wrote a bunch of ghazals. I don't know why, it was just like came to me. And so I think about ghazals. I walk on by the East River, and I think about my father, and I think about the boat on the river that take the dead to the underworld and all of that. So a lot of them are just kind of based on that feeling, you know. And so this one is called The Summer Sea Light. The battered skiff glides across the summer sea light, white sails like wings of an albatross. The summer sea light empties itself on the bridge between the body and its dream, while the white myrtle frosts the summer sea light, pushes it to the edge of fall's tungsten darkness, where morning warblers exhaust the summer sea light. With their skylarking song flights towards evening, the waters rise gold and blue, toss the summer sea light against the wind as it carries the ship to the river store. The pilot has a mask on. He can pause the summer sea light, but he won't break the rules. Under no circumstances will he contemplate stopping because the summer sea light is fragile. His passengers are silent shades frozen without memory, but for the faint scent of names that gnaws the summer sea light. The co-pilot leans leeward against a late sky, arms out to touch one last time his own past. That was the summer sea light. A story that now slants on his face like truth. The winter serpent has awakened and claws the summer sea light into scales of dead stars. No use asking for more time. There are only undiscovered continents, lost and summer sea light. Time to leave the half-made bed, the broken broom, the red dust choking the mangled root, the drying moss, the summer sea light. That's another ghazal. And this next one is from my series of poems that starts with the title, the line, In Which the Body. So this one is called In Which the Body Considers Atonement. And this is in response to Louise Gluck's poem, Inferno. The choice has always been paradise or bacon, Humpty or Dumpty. See yourself in the wooded pond, a face on the water afloat in the terror, distorts dreams before you even fall asleep. So much for solitude. The other side of the pool is the madness, where the hatter sits grimly by the hair. bowl abrim with meat pies and oysters to nibble on while you reach back through the watery grave, slide yourself behind the picnic table, and he offers his own recipe for contrition, with his piece of rare lamb still pulsing and pushing up the last of his tender blood, reminds you that once, that before, that nothing belongs to you, and you were foolish to believe otherwise. But you're not or have ever been sorry, just thirsty for the salt and a little tearful at the failed promise of amnesia. Saying goodbye to wine, whiskey from heaven, is not easy when all have gone awry and you need every drop to calm the screaming tongue, the beast that would not die. And your consuming fear of going into a glassy, indifferent world that makes you so small, invisibility is the only logical conclusion. Finally, after your body is passed around the Milky Way for all to grope and judge, it is carved into stars. What's left to eat but your words, to drink but your faith? Give up one mortal world for another? Famine or famine? How's that for choice? Hunger threatens everyone, even psychics and singers in a trance, even saints and waitresses in the grassland, even pimps and grifters in universities. So feel bad or don't, repent or rejoice, hair, shirt, or chastity belt. Abandon everything that's lost. Remember everything that's broken. So that's one. So my last one is another summer poem, and this one is called The Sleep of Forgiveness. Mid-afternoon, midsummer, the breeze is soft up on the 8th floor. The day cleaned by yesterday's rainstorm, in my half-bitten dreams, I drift and drift between vignettes. Silence shines through the lower hands of grace. Empty in its completeness, I keep still, keep my many eyes closed, keep my pulse slow from leaping from one desire to another. I try to hold myself, put one hand over the other. In one dream, I am a ghost, then an angel. In another, I am the sacred lotus opening. In the last one, I peel an orange, and I am water. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Joanna, that was awesome. Wow. So
Thanks.
powerful, huh? Carved into stars. Goodness me. Half-bitten dreams. Wow. I could quote you for hours. And congrats again. I'll try to post the American blog thing for everybody on the chat thing. Thank you, Joanna Sit. Yay. My old classmate. We have another classmate coming up. But first, we have Thomas Fink. And it's really a pleasure to have Thomas with us today. I haven't seen you for a little while, Tom, but I'm really looking forward today. I've always liked your stuff. Uh, it starts off here with or current resident. Like that sounds kind of funny. We'll see what that's about. Thomas Fink's 13th collection of poetry will be published by Marshhawk Press in October 25. Fink is the author of reading poetry with college and university students, Overcoming Barriers and Deepening Engagement from Bloomsbury in 2022, as well as 2 books of criticism and 3 edited volumes. His poem appeared in the Best American Poetry of 2007, edited by Heather McHugh and David Lehman. Fink's paintings, I think we see some in the background there, hang in various collections. Fink is the professor of English at CUNY LaGuardia Community College. And Thomas, take it away.
Jeff, thanks very much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm going to start by reading 2 from the forthcoming collection that you mentioned, or current resident. This is English Strophes 31. They don't recognize you the minute they get elected. Before, they're all over you. Marriage optimum, a beautifully sold to with. My cousins for youngest bashful, always on the outlook. Is brisket shopping this? retrospect that 40, 50, a glimpse may have then to quality a soul, finds the take with the give, trying to equal, attentive some days enough, be marital or political. And this is English Strophes 32. Are you going for dinner out? Moderation, too much, you clucking. Well, fancy it crave, don't feed no wiser, a stomach or push leaving, a spell endure sick. There's yesterday a doctor. About the nutrition is everything you gotta eat natural. So where find always anywhere this natural? Would fib lots stores from label truth. Is bodies differing machines built to same behave? So now I'm reading all from series today. I do write standalone poems, but I'm just going to read from series. And this is in my last book, Zugma, 2022, also Marshak Press. This is Goad 25. A mammoth id in a puny garage doused with elevator music. Can't just buy an orchestra. Boast fills faux cavern. Bruises swarm to surface. Can any glide over the minuscule to land squarely on adumbrations of the fundamental? Status. Whoa. Whoa. I'm looking for less than you wanna give. Intervention spells interruption. No back and forth in your contract draft. I reject. We won't become your dull prophet. And this is also from the same book, Goad 26. I sit on this ass all day, paperwork and shit like that. When a door closes, another slams shut. A third can be pried open despite a chronic aptitude for passivity. Medium, hooray. You're kinder to universals than they are to you. I'll speak to you as if you know, as someday you might. So now I'm going to read from another series that's earlier. Thank you. This is Dented Reprise 3. Below you receive me with heroic lies. I know your palaver pseudo-tragic enterprise. What is that bromide to be brayed? Why can't you spell me what you shed? We're already smitten, yet today there'll be a drum to distemper. Mojo in a can, thought you got it strumming, but it was another scam. And this is Dented Reprise 4. What plots derange our level gaze? Bailey, well, the emperor's jiving and his beat slits the poor. Daisy steeple popping 'cause it copping some war. I can't rent no smattered traction. Too much donkey isthmus for me to be dissolved in. And is it just raving dream that could throw our machine? And the way you strike is way beyond despair. We've got to brick up every glitch. Don't freeze the sleazy, sudsy kitsch. So give me your art, make it squeal, or else infect the doubted. So I'm going to finish up. Well, no, got a little more than that. I'm going back to Or Current Resident, forthcoming. And this is called Dusk Bowl Intimacies 38. So the gorgeous trendsetters are short on magnificent monograms. Please don't pester me with cuddly word pictures tumbling out of a small device, my pale pal. Sinuous insinuations for stay-at-home brains, like Botox for a sticky persona. Novelty is beyond our reach. I'm hankering instead for a visionary insurance agent, blonde as night, providing umbrella coverage against all horror. And Dusk Bowl Intimacies 39. I woke up with a different mouth. Where would I have misplaced the old version? Compulsive lawyers rush to take my pulse. They advocate a new spiffy suit. At best, a glowering diversion as heredity creaks on. Earlier environmental touchstones have not. Ratty plastic sleeves constrict shriveled photos. So I'm going to finish up with the first two poems in my book that's coming out. These are, the title reflects what they are. Mission Statement 1. Never a nanosecond squandered on X-knowledge elegies. To dash into the shortest queue for exquisite tech pivots, with dry ice severity to ratiocinate so an elliptical defense blinds each approaching worm. Essence distillation, a given. Enduring requires surplus essence. And this is mission statement 2. We invest in oracle-proof tactics and relegate incompetent umbrellas to alley cans. Dimpled monopolies cannot cow us as the slumming elite engage in imperial caterwauling while powdering their wigs. We unmask and upend pseudonymous raids that groom hyperbolic unrest through a new nationalism conceived in libido. No pushers of secular psalm oil, we submit that, to halt ecstatic poison flow, abrasive medicine must be prescribed. Thank you.
All right. Thomas, that was a lot of fun, man. A lot of fun.
Thank you.
Medium hooray doesn't do it for you, but that was your quote. You're a mojo in a can, man. And I expected you to use a word like ratiocination. Thoughtful. Brilliant. Thank you so much. And those are your paintings back there, right? Wonderful, beautiful stuff, man. All right, Tom Fink, man. So now we're going to move on to another classmate of mine. Right? Coincidence today. We had Joanna. Now we're gonna have Mark Ari. Oh, I wanted to also thank Sheila because Sheila is the one who, recommended that you read today. So that was very cool. Ask her. And she said you, so that was cool. Thank you, Sheila, too. Right? Yeah, man. Um, so Mark was also a grad out there at Brooklyn College with Allen Ginsberg. There was Sheila, I mean Sharon Mesmer was out there with us, and Bill Evans, and Michelle Somerville. It was quite a time. Alan would bring people out there, and he would say to me stuff like, "Hey, would you mind taking Michael McClure to the coffee shop while I kill an hour? I got stuff to do." I'd be like, "Yeah, I wouldn't mind that, man." So anyway, so it's good to see Mark here. Now, Mark, I just want to give a personal thank you to also, because Mark um, asked me to if I had anything to recordings that I might. He's got this thing called Eat Records, EAT, and so I was lucky enough with Mark to record an album called Later Than You Think, which was my anthem for a while. And I think Mark is going to sing a song for us today, yeah? And let me give you his vitals here. And he is about Mark that he is a professor for a long time at the University of North Florida. He's a writer, a musician, and a visual artist. He edits and produces Eat, a series of audio chapbooks, and recent work appears in Gargoyle and Live Mag, as well as the anthology Music Gigs Gone from Paycock Press. May 8th through the May 7th. Oh, this is over. Wonder Wheel, a collaborative work with these guys are New Yorkers. Ginger, Andrew, and Glicksman is scheduled for exhibition at the Olfactory Art Keller here in New York. And yes, Mark has beautiful poems in here. Also, livemag.org. And we want to hear what Mark is up to. Please welcome Mark Ari.
Thanks, Jeff. It's good to see you, man, and thanks for inviting me. And I'm really delighted to be with all you folks today. I'll start with Under the Influence. I am under the influence. I should not drive a car. I should not handle sharp objects or heavy, dull ones. I am under the influence, deeply under it, of winter, fog. I'm under the influence of Mark Rothko, of the Lone Ranger and Tonto and Sky King and Fess Parker and George Reeves, of Mr. Wizard and Mike Mars, of Invisible Ancestors, of Chagall, Blue Rider and Montparnasse, of Bob Dylan and Brooklyn and Dead Rebbies. I should not wrestle alligators or hippos. I am under the influence of the short-lived perfection of apples. I should not climb a tree or plant one in the electric soil. I am under the influence of blended whiskey, of day-old bread dipped in 6-bit wine, of caffeine and hot sauce and Soutine's meat. I am under the influence of frightened people. I should not run with scissors. I know that. It would be a bad idea. I'm under the influence of a chain of springs, of no laughing matter, my friend, of hangers and needle points, of belt buckles. I am under the influence of lost causes. I am under the influence of ashcan and cobra. I should not smile at babies. I should not sail a boat, handle heavy machinery, or talk to prostitutes. I should avoid rooftops. I should certainly avoid rooftops. Breasts. I am under the influence of innumerable breasts and collarbones, of necks stretched like the scraped residue of hash pipes, of miles, of cold fusion, of bald lies and hidden meanings. I should not play with matches. I should not play with strangers or my food or with words. I should avoid accidents of letters. I should seize my pen from my claw like a frog catching flies. Then I should hold my tongue for a time. This is Write Your Name on My Eyes. Write your name on my eyes. Breathe into me a kiss. Distill the substance of my dreams for a draft to work warm the white, soft mud into form. Touch my mouth. The tender season here leans into the cold, and water slow in marsh grass becomes white ash and mulberry. Taste the clay of my lips. Finish me. If a kiss does not last forever, it is not a kiss if you do not die endlessly into it. We are made of time, and time is not real. But oh, how it moves. There is nothing here. There's nothing here, I tell her, but purple hyacinth clocks and winter's white candles. Our eyes are whispers. Dig your toes into the earth, she says, until the dirt in your spit is a rage of wildflowers. I am a giant, I say, and a prayer and a note on a phone like a bed made of moonlight. The sky is flashing blue gin, and all around there is light, wild garlic, and the sigh of marsh grass on marigold. I think maybe I'll do a song. That's okay. People say not to show up in crowds with an acoustic guitar these days, but came through the jungle, bent on murder. The faces were drawn, and the guns were too. Muskets fire and flash, blast like thunder, leaving blood on the field with the morning dew. El Dorado, Golden City, breaker of hearts and the minds of men. El Dorado, oh, I can feel you over the hill, around the bend. I still remember how you tried to hide me when they came to call me from the fold. If I were an angel girl, you could ride me all the way to that city of gold, El Dorado, Golden City, breaker of hearts and the minds of men. El Dorado, I can feel you over the hill, round the bend. Some men say you can buy their freedom. Some they pray you can make them whole. To their lives are nothing but what they've left behind them. Along the road to that city of gold, El Dorado, Golden City, breaker of hearts and the minds of men. El Dorado, I can feel you over the hill, around the bend. Over the hill, around the bend.
Yay. Mark, you got one more poem for us?
Sure.
Well, that was beautiful. But we couldn't really hear your guitar, just so you know.
Oh, okay. I didn't know
That
that.
sucks, right?
That's a drag.
I know, man.
Yeah,
But
Zoom has some filter that filters out anything other than your voice. There's an audio setting that can fix it, but you know, your voice
Okay.
came.
All right. That's unnerving, but all right.
Oh, well.
Okay. Well, let's see what I got here. This is called Rhinoceros. I am turning. That should not surprise me. A pal of mine says there isn't enough you can do to prepare. It's all downhill from here. Time extracts a price in change, the coin of the realm. And how much is too much to pay for the time of your life? At what point does it cease to be an incredible bargain? Turning has never meant much to me. Once I was in the air between Spain and Greece. Once I was black, eyes brimming. Once I was married, and there was champagne, cowboys, and rabbis. Once I was a father. I am turning out of a world where there is little heart and conversation is so rare I no longer expect it. I walk through cities less of late. I'm away. And being away, I find it is not on mountain tops or on seas or on the air I discern myself, but painted on glass and in the rustling behind. My relationship with mirrors is changed. I might have hoped for something more. Where I'm going eludes me. It always has. I want only to be better. I am incapable of limits. I am turning carefully. I finger arm, loin, and leg. I sense no loss of strength, no failure of courage. I'm not bored. I've not gone limp. Perhaps it's coming. Let it. My arms are wide. Appraise, if you will, limb and extension. Gauge the flow of my pee. Take the G's of my bite. Stretch tape against the arc of my heart's leap at the sight of a fetching ass. Drop a plum into the slow giddiness that rises at savors. Place an oscillator at the surface of my flesh to assess the relish. I inspect the color of my stool religiously, applying biologic science and Goethe to understand the applicable fundaments of hue. And if soon I am born to count the lucky stars, you can search my pockets for time. I spend it freely, I hope, on things that seem good to me and easily as handfuls of change.
All right. All right. I knew that hippo was ready for us. Oh, my arms are wide. That is you, man. Your stuff is big. Thank you. Mark Ari. Everybody calls him Ari. It's good to have you.
Thank you.
And now Sheila Murphy. Let me say also, Sheila has done a lot of visual work. It's not really in the bio today, but she worked with John with Luna Bisante. And I'm hoping maybe John will read a poem for us at the end here also in our special open reading section. And also, I didn't know this, but I sort of knew it about the hay bun, how Sheila had kind of made this an American form, sort of done something different with it. And but I lost the bio here. I'm sorry. Here it is. Here it is. Here it is. The official one. Ready? All right. Sheila E. Murphy appeared in Verse Daily, Poetry, Hanging Loose. I was going to say, actually, Sheila had sent me a couple of years ago a bunch of fabulous guzzles, and I sort of just misplaced them. I was dying to use them. So, in lieu of skipping them from Live Mag, I asked her, I was hoping she could read today, and so we're so happy that she could. Let me start again here. She's appeared in Verse Daily, Poetry, Hanging Loose, Fortnightly Review, Black Sun Lit. Others. Forthcoming is Escritoire from Lavender Ink. Permission to Relax from Blaze Fox came out a couple of years ago. She won the Gertrude Stein Poetry Award for Letters to Unfinished from the Green Integer Press. Integer. And it's got to be, yeah, sorry. Hayaku Book Prize for reporting live from you know where, Meritage Press. And her Wikipedia page, of course, can be found at Sheila_Murphy. And let's hear it for the great Sheila E. Murphy.
Thank you so much, Jeffrey, for inviting me. I'm delighted to be here. And I'm so thrilled to get a chance to read with my friend Tom Fink and to be introduced to Joanna and Mark's work, Ari's work. Really terrific. Thank you so much. It's great to be with you all. It's a great thing to get to see dear long-term friends and to meet new ones. And this is a great place to do that. So I see all these beautiful faces whom I love dearly. I'm going to read you 8 poems today. And you'll notice that, well, all of them have been published recently, so they're newies. And some of them have appeared in Escritoire, which is just now getting out. So I'm very grateful to Bill Lavender for that. So here we go. 8 poems. The first is titled Open-Ended Question. A herd of cantaloupe, like blonde duckpin bowling balls, thunders down the slope, trampling cats once upright along vivid silt. The spheres smash open, splashing salmon-colored water and thick fruit across the hillside. Sweet phytonutrients meant to boost immunity splay into nature's road rage minus the road and colliding with an open-ended question. Two of the poems I'm reading, poets. The first one is titled Hush Puppies. Hush puppies on the soles of the feet of David Ignatow at the podium, 1 foot atop the other. Warm, young, safe shoes, hush puppies belonging to David Ignatow. He spoke in plain tones that rose in the carpeted auditorium where students would go to hear poetry slide into the tonal registers of daily life. Hush puppies below the soft cuffs of the trousers of David Ignatow, a gentle plow through speech allowed as reach from his matter-of-fact voice that cared. A flock of early voices honored him, flapped their wings, locating their span. So reading at Arizona State University when that happened, and I just kept seeing those little shoes. This is epistemology. I can't explain what you can't learn by improvising, listening. See-through memory chokes back a facsimile of smirking priest Gimlet to break the ice. May I have the scansion, please? Will you agree to cavort near mare's pre-ride that we may sink features and benefits in the greased slide of indelicate indifference party-wide? I am not this body. When I close my eyes, order and wilderness convene. I am a ball of curiosity versus nosiness. I coolly grasp what my center sings. Listen to me talk my way into a music I have nothing to do with making. I merely take it in and feather the stable furniture and various instruments linked to me. I am not this body, I merely rent this flesh and skeletal structure filled with health, a gift. I do what I am supposed to do. Sky cloaks me. Morning birds ornately gift my sense of hearing. I consume with glee each tiny homemade pizza with paneer, olives, mushrooms, and keto-friendly tortillas rubbed with ghee, topped off with tomato sauce and sprinkled with mozzarella and cheddar cheeses. I smile a lot. I mean it when I do, but I am not this body. I am something invisible, merely here on location, offering and capturing and wishing I could stay here a long time, as I have come to relish the bounty of spirits that co-occupy this world with me. We all spend a good deal of time on Zoom and a big portion of our lives. Here is one such event from July, about a year ago. It's titled 9 Birch Trees. On Zoom, a talkative man foregrounds himself before a painting showing 9 birch trees arranged in grayness with mild brown sticks and weeds. The faint-hued bark blends into the atmosphere. The man fills most of the screen. His voice fills the virtual room. He looks seasoned, but retains a certain longhand bounce about him. He seems to want to be eternal in at least 2 dimensions. When others speak, he continues talking. Each one tries to claim what little silence she can imagine. The rendered, graceful birch trees, made to last, remain a gift to me. I tender the image in my soul, recalling a scene from childhood when trees so young inspired me as they do now. Free of fate, perhaps, as growth occurs naturally and slowly, but still too fast. So I am looking again at birches, feeling at one with them across the species. And now another poem about a poet. This is titled 1959. Frank O'Hara, rarely staying put, reports piecemeal material to breathe in and wafer through before coming on to the next episode, only to discover multiple more episodes in keeping with southerly winds, maybe about to wind down to full frontal loneliness or loveliness. What do I know? I'm only 8 and tend to make decisions despite my sentence to childhood, deferring to irrational adult decisions, forecasting humdrum optical delusions. Butterflies are wet with the result of procreation. Welcome to just one color in keeping with standard operating procedures, the triangular yield sign of the partial cross to bear in mind, the slowpoke grizzly and the lumbering black bear, hungry for something in the wide open tent, as tentative as this urban open and shut case of solipsistic burgeoning lack of inclusion minus consequence. Thank you. This is a little autobiographical snapshot from autumn last. It's called Postcard from Home. Across the street this October Sunday afternoon, it is only 90 degrees. A ghostly Caucasian shirtless man is pulling a mid-sized amber dog on the leash with a little red in it. Shadows on the white building form a set no one has to pound together, a one-man pop-up theater production. I am going to close with a piece called Is There an Innocence? And I want to thank you before I conclude for being here. It's just delicious to see you all and to be reading with fellow poets. Thank you all. Is there an innocence? From the raw hazard of beach, a woman or man in shirt sleeves reprimands the swaddling sea's prodigious voice, repeating the refrain of water teething plankton. Leftover plants wash up and seagulls arrive in voice. Sense of hearing claims and comes to own the ocean we imagine, and the ocean alive. Is there an innocence one can learn to wear outdoors? Some fair trade of civilization for treasure, thought occurring in senses voiced, touch, and sung, syllables nudged into memory as sure as this beautiful accidental bird voyaging beyond the point of being seen or known, defining place, as though a child grasping at syllables one at a time, discerned by safely hovering authority. Thank you.
Yay, thank you, Sheila E. Murphy. That was wonderful. So many great stuff in there. Talk yourself into making music, right? You know, I met David Ignato when I first came to New York, and he had this lovely daughter, and he seemed to be around, and it was great to meet him. He was like the first really well-known poet I think I met, and that's cool. You heard him out in Indiana, your stomping grounds.
Yeah, we met in Arizona, actually.
Oh, wow.
I've been here most of my adult life, but I sort of started out in Indiana, so thank you so much.
And you made me think of the phrase "solistic lipstick." I can't even say it. All right, Sheila E. Murphy, thank you. That was a real treat. And let me introduce our host here, and then Cassandra is going to take over with some open readers. But before that, let's thank our tech guy up there in New Hampshire, John Wessick. He's a great, talented prose, sci-fi poet, reader, wombat-loving son of a gun. Thank you, John Wessick.
I guess I get to read something, huh? Okay, this is the opening to a story called Blind Justice, and you can read the rest of it at the link that I put in the chat. I was looking at a pile of dirty snow shaped like the great Buddha at Kamakura outside my office window when I wondered what would happen if I used rye whiskey in my coffee maker instead of water. I had just enough to try, so I inserted a filter, emptied my bottle into the reservoir, and added some grounds. When I pushed the brew button, a red light flashed and my office lights went out. Before resetting the circuit breaker, I upended the coffee machine to rescue the remaining whiskey from the reservoir, spilling half on the counter and a third on my khaki slacks. I grabbed a paper towel, and as I was wringing whiskey into my cup, she walked in. Her blouse was cut so low that she'd need a podiatrist to undo the top button, and her fishnet stockings were so tight that zooplankton would get caught in the weave. Are you Morris Pill Bottle? At your service. I could come back if you're busy. No, I was just storing this device in the evidence locker. I stashed the coffee machine in the closet. Mongolians have been using them to smuggle fermented mare's milk past customs. Fermented mare's milk? How else would Genghis Khan conquer half the world? I sat and put my feet on my desk. Now what can I do for you? My name is Helen Kimball. I suspect my husband Richard is having an affair. He's supposed to be working late, but has a reservation at the Roadkill Grill across from that breatharian place on the corner of Euclid and Pythagoras. He only has one arm, so he should be easy to spot. She showed me the photo of a man with a titanium fist. I could pay you a pretty penny if you got pictures of him with that floozy. Just how pretty we talking about? $30. Don't make me laugh. That fee needs a nose job and a gallon of zit cream. 50. Could use a trip to the hairstylist. $100 for an easy hour's work. Deal. I'd fought villains with stainless steel jaws and depleted uranium boots, but the thought of confronting a man with an aerospace alloy fist made my guts squirm as if freshwater eels were wriggling in my duodenum. Nevertheless, $100 would buy a new coffee machine with enough left over for a fifth of rotgut. I shook her hand. You drive a hard bargain, Mr. Pill Bottle. She gave me her business card. Be there at 7. Like everyone else, she got that wrong. I drove a Hyundai. Thanks.
Wow. Thank you. We love John's work. I also recommend that you don't confront anyone with an aerospace alloy fist. I loved that bit. It was so good. Thank you. First up, we have Andrew. Andrew is going to kick us off. Andrew, where are you? And can you unmute yourself?
Hi, can you hear me?
Excellent.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hi, I wasn't actually planning on reading. I was just going to be an audience member, but Jeff recruited me, so I'm happy
He has
to.
a habit of doing that, but we love it when
Yeah.
you do that. And you're such a you're a lip balm kind of, executive. So I think,
Oh,
you definitely belong to a
okay.
reader.
Okay. Well, it just so happens I have 3 new poems that came out in this issue of Hopkins Review, so it was easy enough to grab it at short notice. And so I will read you 3 poems. Oh, I made up a book title in the first poem I'm going to read. It's called Proses, Roses. I'm pretending that's like a manual of writing or something. So anyway, the poem title is called Carrying My Copy. Carrying my copy of Proses, Roses, I go limping through these districts, a figure neither figurative nor abstract. See, my liquid is distilled in every glass I pass. You double, you X, you Y, let's meet cross-eyed at the next corner, beating time. Artless, the instant stays, while the years recede in words only. I and I are long past tense, turning witness to the night side of right action, mere mechanism. We'll calculate anew the instability of any standing animal whose words are wards of wars. Mon semblable, tell yourself, when a word becomes a name, it dies. Okay, and this next poem, False Notes of a Thought Musician. The song says no, the song says yes, not in sequence, only there, right there, in the glare of. No infinite set exhausts all possibility. Another bad result. The set of even numbers, the set of odd. Long wait between infinities, so what? I have another destination, one that comes before one. Division wants to join. Okay, and then the final poem is written in memory of the great poet Barbara Guest, who was who lived in the same neighborhood as me in Berkeley for a number of years. So I got to hang out with her in the late 90s and early 2000s. And she passed in '06. But this poem is in memory of her. It's called The Barb, and we didn't call her that, but that's the title of this poem. It was the age of capital. It was the age of golden dirigibles. We looked ridiculous, stopped in our elegant postures, no longer allowed to decorate the air with the notes of a harpsichord. Below us, those who toiled in mines and factories were given to sing the impossibility of song. Such melodrama is defensive rapture, a nail driven through smoke. After a century, our anatomy accumulates, rises, a cloud-like fortune. Not the dust that we started with, but the dust that we became. Thank you.
Amazing. It's always a pleasure to have you read and listen to you read. Thank you so much. When a word becomes a name, it dies. That's my favorite one, I think. But I also want to say, and I know I say this often, but your neo-surrealism book is like the Bible for neo-surrealism in America. So
Oh, good.
really love it.
Glad to hear that.
Thank
I'm
you
glad
so
to hear
much
that.
for being part of our open. And I'm wondering if John Bennett might read for us next, if he's still around. Is he around and up for a reading? I'm not sure.
He's around. If you want me to read, I can't make this video thing work. So
But we
you'll
can
have
hear
to,
your beautiful voice. So as long as we can hear your lovely voice, we'd
you'll
love
have
to.
to put up with an invisible poet.
That's kind of cool in its own way, though, right? It's like this
Yeah.
disembodied, authoritative voice.
Okay, I'm going to read two short poems from my latest book called Invisible, or Invisible in English. Tijerasca. Knife fell out the book. I shaped air, bent over floor, shadowed blood, my skull, left back your scissored sausage cloud, inhaled space, left paper once, descripted aphonetics and retraction water dry, illusion face, remeated documents revolved and throated. The next one is called Calzado Efímero. Your stapled ladder, slippery in a hole, your headlamp drools. It's a cave, no lintels shine. The story of your gaspiration, corner full of ants. In drowning rain, your twitchy legs reversed my eyesight. Folded sandwich smeared down the rungs. Historia del aire caída en tu huarache. Okay, thank you.
That was extraordinary. Thank you for reading. You were loud and clear, and it was absolutely amazing. So I shaped air. You shaped more than air today. Thank you so much. We really loved hearing you.
All right, thank you.
Next, we have Don Krieger, and we love Don. So what has he got for us today? We never know. He may have a background of an artwork, a mini film. We don't know. It may just be him. What do you got, Don?
Thank you, Cassandra, and thank you, everyone. The diversity of voices is remarkable today, and the quality also. I'm going to read this one, and then if there's time, I'll read a second short one. Today is the 104th anniversary of the Tulsa race riot. On the night of July 17, 1944, Black naval work gangs loaded bombs and live munitions onto 2 cargo ships at Port Chicago on the Sacramento River. At 10:18, explosions destroyed both vessels and the pier, killing 320, including all of the loaders. The Black seamen who had been off duty were ordered to clean up the decimated base, including their dead colleagues, and then resume loading operations downriver at Mare Island. 252 protested. When threatened with court-martial, 202 returned to work, 50 were convicted of mutiny and sentenced to 15 years in prison. Their white officers were given 30 days hardship leave. That familiar comfort. The river at Port Chicago was pink in the dawn glare. Strangely like that night, they fled for their lives. Biplanes spotlit by burning buildings, kerosene bombs bursting on the roofs, clubs and rifles, white boys and their fathers, beasts hunting little Africa for black runners. Do you know this story? The Tulsa pogrom of 1921, 6,000 black people jailed, no whites, the Greenwood ghetto burned to the ground, no insurance ever paid, no crime ever charged, the dead uncounted. I never knew it till today. I bear that shame, small price for my privilege. From this day I forswear that familiar comfort, the cowardice of forgetting. And I have this short one, which is on the back cover of my book, We in America, which has been downloaded by MAGA people off of Twitter postings 35,000 times. Revelations from the Gulf of America. May we always remember, understand, and care enough to do better sooner, even when we don't want to. Nothing is more seductive, privilege. Indifference to the innocent suffering is a sickness. Our dead are different from yours. That frightens me. Sociopathy. We cling to platitudes because they're easy, and we long to believe. My nation is great. God is good. We who count the dead on a scoreboard. But for wars and wealth, we in America were never great.
Thank you so much. You always write such powerful poems that commemorate important events and lobby for change. And I'm sure all of those people who downloaded your poem will read it, and maybe they will learn something from it. We can only hope. We can try. Poetry can change the world. That's what's exciting about it. Thank you so much, Don. It's always a pleasure to have you here as well. Vicky is up next. Vicky's a chameleon. We never know. She can have a sea shanty. She can have a powerful political poem. She can write about colors. I don't know. What's up? What's up for this Lit Balm open mic, Vicky?
Hi there. These are all extracts from a collection I'm working on under the benefit of an Arts Council grant for developing creative practice, and I'm lucky enough to have 3 fabulous mentors to work with this year. So this one is called Speak Me. 4 days of work behind him. On the 5th day, he packs a rucksack and enters the forest, as far into the interior as he can safely go before the low light disappears. Rotting vegetable matter, decaying animals, all soften the sound of his movements. But the jaguar, the ocelot, and the reticulated python are still aware of him. Carrying some weapons and basic equipment, he selects a tall tree and begins the long climb into the canopy. About halfway up, he finds a good place to rest and builds himself a nest. Settling down, he reaches for his ayahuasca and starts to drink. Soon he is barely able to move and starts vomiting. His eyes open. He can see her hovering on a nearby branch. She has long fair hair. No, curly dark hair. No, some other hair. Her eyes are brown, grey, blue, green. He can't tell. He has a name for her. Astrid. 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 No idea where word comes from. He loves her. Thinks she loves him. She smiles. He tries to talk to her. Allo. Plea. Allo. His heart breaks, but still she smiles. Oh, Astrid, speak me, please, he thinks. Her mouth opens and closes, but no sound comes out. He wants to tell her what to say, but he can't think anymore. Now he sees hundreds of Astrids climbing and crawling on the trees everywhere. Her faces change, human, sloth, cat. Tears pour down his face, and he hears the forest growl and roar and scream all around him. Gradually he realizes that he is the one screaming, but he hasn't enough strength left to stop or even exist. Thank you.
Thank you. You had me at rucksack entering the forest, and it just kept going. It was wonderful. Thank you so much, Vicky, and congratulations on your grants for your creative practice.
Thank you.
We always end the open with the dynamic duo, those ones that you love, our near and dears, Cindy and Bob. So, Badass Brooklyn, Cindy, what do you got for us? You're on mute.
On mute. That may be good.
No.
A lot of people have wanted to mute me.
No way.
First thing I want to do is show Bob my shirt. It doesn't say badass poet.
What's it
got
say?
Buddha on it, very serious Buddha, and it says, just let that shit go.
That's a good message for all of us.
And I got my Jewish star on because these days, we should wear them. I am going to give Cassandra and Paul a plug by reading from Alcatraz. Alcatraz is a beautiful, beautiful anthology edited by Cassandra and Paul and illustrated wonderfully by Phil Day. And when I wrote the poem, I didn't know they would go in order of the smallest poem to the biggest. Otherwise, I would have written a one-liner and been the first one in here. But as it was, I wrote a small poem. And it's called Surrealist Convergence. And it was originally published in order to extend the interrelationships here, the ancestral interrelationships. It was published in Unlikely Stories by our friend Jonathan. Mr. Breton spoke of the marvelous, but what about bewilderment and the bewildered? The chance meeting of a dusky drowse with a stormy gray late afternoon. Immaculate light meeting tarnished darkness in the lonely garbage can alley. My electric mouth kissing your pink fingers one by one in aubergine ecstasy. The world going on and on, even through these strange vapors. Thank you.
How good is it? It reminds me of E. Cummings with the electric pink mouth thing. I love it. It's a wonderful poem. Cindy, thank you so much. And we can't end the open any other way than having our incredibly sage Bob, the kitchen laureate, as he's fondly known here. He always has some incredible little piece for us to kind of ruminate on as we go about our mornings or evenings. We never quite know. He may have information. He sang once. I wouldn't be surprised if he tap danced. I think I've said in the past. Maybe he'll play the guitar like Ari did today. But Bob, you're always surprising. So surprise us. You got to take yourself off mute.
That does help.
That helps.
Traces. The tree is larger than required. The map showing more than was necessary. The food allowed, never enough. The gun, only sometimes a weapon.
See, we all want to be Bob. He's that good, people. He's that good. Absolutely amazing. What a fabulous way to end the open. So back to you, Jeff, for a final word, I'm sure.
All right. Thank you so much. Gosh, what a powerhouse of a reading today. It was so great to see everybody and hear everybody. Cassandra, John, I'm not sure what's coming up next, but please do keep in touch. Check out on the Lit Balm. Do you guys know what's coming up next?
June 14th, I think, is the next.
Flag Day. Yay. Oh, that's great. And our wonderful readers today, we got to hear from these legends like Andrew and Don Krieger and John M. Bennett. You know, I mean, come on, what a day, what a day. Thank you, Sheila Murphy, for being an anchor here, and my old classmates, Joanna and Mark and Tom, you bringing on the rat voice there. Thank you so much, and our wonderful ending readers and everybody. Cassandra, John Wessick, Mark, see you guys.
Bye, everyone. Mwah.